Cedar Street Bridge shopping and dining. Let's see if we can get that in the frame. It's right over there. That's what that is. 0 Point crystal gems and more. That's right up there. That's right there. Sweet little building, ain't it? Didn't it? See all that? It's a beautiful building. You know what I'm saying? Eileen down there. That's Eileen chilling. Hanging out. Burning for the flag. Yes, good morning. If you're wondering where I'm at, where I'm coming to you live from, I'm coming to you live from the beautiful Sandpoint, Idaho. I love this place. I come here every weekend. I have a lot of friends here. I like coming out here. Really, just more because of the atmosphere and the feeling that I get when I'm here. Big, huge mountains. You drive another 40, 50 miles north of here, you'll find yourself in Canada. But right here in Sandpoint, man, not even probably, one of the most beautiful places in America. It's tucked off, so you wouldn't really find it. It's not one of those places, you could just look on the map, throw your finger out, and pinpoint it, and bam, there you are. It's tucked off in the Pacific Northwest, just like I said, snuggled off in the mountains. There, man, look at right there. It's like the train station right up there, Sandpoint. And me, I'm a guy who likes the trains. I like to travel on the train. I'm not really a car guy. But I'm coming to you live because I want to talk to you a little bit about, a situation going on here in Sandpoint. I want you guys to see, just how beautiful this is. Like if you can just get a look at this, the lake or the little waterway here. And I'm from North Carolina, so we call this would be like an inlet, where, you'd come and you'd park your boats and you'd be able to come up here and hit the diners up here and you'd pull right up here on the side. But look how beautiful this is, man. Like, look at that mountain over yonder. And see over that right there, like over that bit of freeway and bit of roadway right there, go over that, there's a bigger stretch of lake sitting in front of that whole mountain right there, so it goes all the way around, and there's the marina, and just a really, really beautiful place, man. Beautiful people to match this beautiful place. But there's a situation going on here in Sandpoint. A lot of division. The leadership here falls in line and jumps in bed with people, with hate groups that really want to tear the fabric of this town apart. And by the fabric, I mean, laws, the way that these people live, being berated, being disrespected, being called racist, being called vigilante, a gun nut, if you will, being attacked because they may be a Trump supporter, being attacked because they may be a conservative, being attacked because, they love America. And there's nothing wrong with that. But here in the beautiful town of Sandpoint, there is a group known as Love Lives Here. Now you hear that name, Love Lives Here, and you would think that these are going to be people with massive hearts, and not just massive hearts, but they're compassionate, they're empathetic, and they're sympathetic to boot. You hear of a group called Love Lives Here. And like a good friend of mine, Chris, he's a pastor. I was on his podcast. Like a good friend of mine, Chris, said to me a couple of weeks ago, he said, Robert, we have to have, with the way that we move in life, and how we are, the men, the women, we have to have a lot more forgiveness, with how you move in your everyday, being sympathetic, empathetic, being able to understand and sit down and talk with people and come to happy mediums. You have to be able to forgive. Love Lives Here. I don't feel that. I don't feel that they're passionate or they are passionate, but I don't feel that they're compassionate. I don't feel that they are forgiving. I don't feel that they are for unity. I do not feel that this group is moving in the way of positivity in the way that they should, or that this group makes out to be. The name says Love Lives Here. I don't feel it. I don't feel it and I don't see it. I don't feel that love lives here when you're on social media, and this is the part where we're going to get real today, people. Welcome to the first ever Truth Serum. But I don't feel that love lives here because this is a group that moves on social media. They hide behind children. They run their little Facebook social media pages, and they do this in a divisive manner, and they destroy people's character, or they try to destroy people's characters. They try to destroy people's names. They're trying to destroy this town with their lies and their manipulation. And I can say this because I've been a part of their lies and their manipulation. And by their lies and their manipulation, you can go on to Rabbits, Rants, and Raves. These are women. There are women on these pages from these groups that claim to be love lives here. I'm very compassionate. I'm this and I'm that, and we want unity. But you can find these women and these men on these pages doing and saying some of the most disgusting things known to man. Remember, love lives here. You can find these men and these women walking down the sidewalks of this town, pointing fingers at people, saying horrible things about people. And like I said, they're on social media. They're on social media saying, oh, did you see so-and-so and so-and-so? Or did you hear about so-and-so and so-and-so? You can find these people at these council meetings just lying and manipulative. And I'm trying to gauge all the emotion right now because, like I said, this touched me personally, and we're going to get into that. Once again, love lives here. Just remember, everybody, love lives here. But like I said, you can catch these women and these men on social media playing some of the most dirty, despicable, nasty games. And I got a front row seat for that this past week right here, when I not only get a phone call from a very good friend of mine while I'm at work. Man, people left trash out here on the 4th of July. Can you see this? So I get a phone call from a really good friend of mine who lives here in Sandpoint. And he wanted to ask me because he's a really, really, and not that he's a solid man, he is a great man. He's a really, really good man. And so he called me and he said, hey, Robert, I just wanted to ask you, I want to let you know who this is first and foremost. And I wanted to ask you myself, because I'm a man and I understand that you're a man and I respect that. And he said, I wanted to ask you, 2 questions. And I said, man, no problem, shoot. Man, people came out here in Sandpoint on the 4th of July, and I'm out here picking up trash that don't even belong to me. But he wanted to ask me a couple of questions, and I said, shoot, brother. So he says, Robert, he says, I want to ask you, did somebody pay you to be here? And I just started laughing, and I was like, what? Are you serious right now? And he was like, he said, we both kind of chuckled a little bit and kind of laughed at it. And he's like, all right, man. He's like, I got one more for you. And I said, yeah. I said, hit me with it, bro. And so he's like, are you a paid actor? And as you can see, I'm laughing again because it's hilarious. Because I'm a personal trainer at Planet Fitness. If anybody really knew, and think they know. Yeah, I'm a personal trainer, so I tell him, I'm a personal trainer, brother. You called me at work. I don't understand any of this. And, we went on, we said that we were going to link up, on the 4th of July, which we did. It was awesome, seeing everyone yesterday and last night. But our conversation that I had with him, it left a feeling in my heart that didn't sit well with me talking to him face to face, when it all had happened, and talking to him yesterday, just as I molded over, it didn't feel good. It didn't sit right with me. I didn't like it. So, and he was right, for someone to send an email and then phone in and say, well, I found Robert had a PayPal account and da-da-da-da. And, yes, you're absolutely right. 100%. I do have a PayPal account. I also have a GoFundMe donations link. It is so that I can travel to all the places that you folks can't go or that you may not want to go. DC, rallies, so on. It doesn't matter. That's what the PayPal accounts are about. That, or just the one, and that's what the now deleted GoFundMe was once about. We had the GoFundMe for years and years and years, since 2016 when I walked across America. I raised money on that, and I donated, I'd say a good 80% of it to veterans and good Americans. So that's that one we newly deleted. But yeah, I was pretty disgusted to hear and see that someone had called in. First, had sent an email in about me being a paid actor, and I was paid to be in Sandpoint to speak for people, and that I just couldn't be a regular guy who was hanging out with his friends who had a mind of his own. It was really and literally unheard of that I could think for myself, and that white Americans had to pay Robert Rosenberry to come into lily white Sandpoint and speak for them. No, these aren't my friends, even though they are, and we all think the same, and we think alike, and we're very family oriented, we're very God loving, we're very God fearing, we're very American loving, service loving, Leo loving, EMTs, first responders. We give back. That's how we all ended up, as brothers and sisters and family and brothers and sisters in Christ, and so on. That's how that happened. And see, I couldn't think for myself according to these people. Somebody had to pay me to come here, and they paid, and they put those words in my mouth. I stood at that podium at that council meeting, and I made all of that stuff up. You know what I mean? Like I came, and I didn't stand there on my own 2 feet. I came in, and they paid me to be there, according to some people. The mayor, actually. I was paid to be here. So I just wanted to set the record straight that I wasn't paid to be here. I live in Pullman, you know what I mean? I ride over here every weekend to hang out with my friends. And the YouTube live that went viral 3 weeks ago, shared all over the place. I didn't ask for it. I didn't want it. I did it because my friends live here, and I didn't want to see good white Americans being berated and called racist and vigilante, because all they want to do is live the life they've been living for 50, 60, 70, 80 years. You know what I mean? I'm 46. I didn't understand it, so that's why I spoke up. That's why I said what I said. And I'm not apologetic for anything that I said that day, because anything that comes out of my mouth, I mean it, and I'm not going to apologize for it. I meant what I said back then. BLM doesn't belong here. Legitimately, they don't belong here. They came to a town pushing their agenda on good people in Sandpoint, and for what? For what? And for who? Who's benefiting from this? There's not enough black people in this town to say that these cops need sensitivity training, or these people need to change the way that they live their life because some high school kids felt like they needed to, they've been watching enough TV and Facebook, and they needed to come out and then you have their parents, I feel like they're doing a good thing. You're absolutely right. They are doing a good thing. You know what I mean? Solidarity, I get it. I'm not an asshole. But with that being said, how you're doing it is disgusting. The divisive manner, the manipulation, adults leaning on children, that's disgusting. Step out here and stop using kids to do and say what you want to say and what you want to do. Step out into the light, like Robert Rosenberry. They said that I show up here in this town every week, and I walk around with them like I couldn't. I'm out here on this patio, or on this water platform. You guys see me, beautiful Sandpoint, by myself, motorcycle down the road. You know what I mean? Like, this is as real as it gets. And I'm out here, talking loudly. I don't care. Like I said, I'm not apologetic for anything that I say, because I mean it. And these are my friends. This is my family out here. Some of them new, some of them old. And this is a beautiful town, and love absolutely does live here, but it doesn't live here through those women and through those men on that site. Because if they can lie about me, and you all just saw, they just lied about Robert Rosenberry, a regular grassroots American called me a paid actor. Because if I'm a paid actor, could somebody please send me my work? Because I'm trying to build a portfolio, and I'd like to not live, or I'd like to keep living in the PNW. And if I gotta live in the PNW, at least let me have enough money to build myself a cabin. You know what I mean? I'd like to be that rich. So But obviously, it's not real. It's not true. These ladies lie. These men lie. Get out of these groups. Start getting out and talking to these men and these women. You know what I mean? Start talking to these people. Get out, and you'll see that they're not racist. They're not vigilantes. They're not these gun-toting, crazies, of northern Idaho. I ride a motorcycle around here every weekend, man. Me and my girl. Like it is what it is. You know what I mean? And if you believe an ounce of that trash that, these people, I came here and like I said, I'm going to say it again. I felt a lot safer with, a couple of hundred armed, I want to say armed and polite, knowledgeable of weaponry and guns. I felt a lot safer with those men and women walking around armed to the teeth. I didn't feel threatened at all. I actually felt a lot better. I felt like law enforcement had a lot more backup that were there to actually help them and not take away or deter or defund or anything negative like that. I feel like I felt safer. I'm pretty sure that the officers felt safer, and I know for a fact that some of these businesses downtown felt a lot safer as well. And I'm sure if I walked around with this camera and a microphone and asked these people, they would say, "Oh yeah, Robert, I know so and so," and I felt a lot more, a lot more safer. I didn't feel like, somebody's gonna like throw a brick through my window with a Molotov cocktail, and I had to worry about, a bunch of, children dressed up like ninjas in broad daylight, wanting to like assault me and my kids or me and my friends or whatever the case may be. Love lives here. It absolutely does. Not through those women and not through those men. We love Northern Idaho because of how it is. And I'm going to take a page out of a gal from the community, from the council meeting, because she said it right. She said, "Do you know why people love or coming to Sandpoint in Northern Idaho? Because we are armed and we are polite." You know why there's no crime here in Northern Idaho and Sandpoint? Because you are armed and you are polite. This isn't like Tombstone where people are running around and, "He called me a liar," and people are getting shot in the street, over card games. I walked up and down the road yesterday, and there was senior citizen men and women with guns on their hips, and we're smiling and talking and having great conversations. And these people are just, and we're just talking about whatever. You see this grassy knoll right here? I was right here chit-chatting with people, hanging out at the A&P, watching fireworks over there, walking up and down this pad, over by the lake, over riding up in the mountains, taking rides on the back roads, just, enjoying the day. I rode by more state troopers and more law enforcement yesterday, and from the lies you would hear on social media, that the police here are horrible. And they're ripping brothers out of the car and bludgeoning them in the head. Let me tell you right now, none of that happened. They waved at me. The chief waved at me 3 separate times yesterday. Put my arm on the top of his car, chit-chatted with him. People were looking at me like, "What the?" And then smiling. I caught more smiles and "Hey, how you doings" and handshakes and "Happy 4th of July" than I did any of that negative nonsense that these people force feed and lie to everybody in this community about. Is racism here? I'm sure it is. Just not to the severity that they make it. Does these Leos do they need sensitivity training? No, they do not. Do the men and women of this town need to be disarmed? No, they do not. Do you need to change your way of life because some pimply-faced little children and their granola crunchy California living, "I moved up to your town to change the way you live"? Do you guys see what I'm doing here? That's where the lies are. Does that matter to you? That doesn't matter to me. And that's who's trying to change your way of life. People that did not grow here. You grew here, they flew here. Remember that. This is your boy Robert Rosenberry from the top of the world. Appreciate you guys. True Serum, Volume 1, Venomous. This is your boy Robert Rosenberry, man. Get a good look at the beautiful Sandpoint, if you would. Look at this place. Look at this. Look at this. This is crazy. Look at this. Look at that. It's ridiculous, man. I love this place. Look at it. We're going to go all the way around. Like, sing the Miss America. I'm kidding, you guys. I can't sing. But, man, check it out. It's beautiful. I just wanted you guys to get a good look at that Cedar Street Bridge. There were some people just back up here listening to my live. I appreciate you guys, man. And just know that it don't stop. It won't stop. We're going to keep pounding the concrete. We're going to keep hitting them with the truth. We're never going to give up. This is how we preserve our way of life, history, heritage, and culture. You know what I mean? And if I feel that way, I know there's got to be a billion more just like me. Again, this is Robert Rosenderry from the top of the world, Truth Serum. We'll see you in the traffic.